Duryodhana started believing Karna, like, he's my good friend, he can help me with all his weapons, but he don't know his minus points. So when you have such friends with us, what will happen? How do we end up? So while choosing friends, what kind of friends we need to choose? He overspeaks everything and he really mesmerized Duryodhana. He took him into a delusion state. He created all illusions and encouraged him to do all wrong things. So when such friends are there, finally how the ending is going to be. Such characters are there. And now comes Bhishmacharya, Dronacharya, Krupacharya. They are such a wonderful, respectable beings who are gurus, grandpa, because of whom the Kuru dynasty existed is because of Bhishmacharya. He took oath, he sacrificed all his life. He took care of Pandavas when they were suffering without father. But still, in the battlefield, Pandavas were against Bhishmacharya. Why? He knows what is dharma, what is adharma. He knows, like, what he's supposed to do. But when we know what is dharma and adharma, we need to always fight for the superior dharma. I need to protect my child. That is my basic dharma. But when my son has hitted someone else and came back, that guy is almost in ICU. Then also will I go with my basic karma, or I have to go with superior karma of taking action against my son? I have to go with superior karma. But Bhishmacharya did not do that. And always, every action will have its reaction. So whoever don't do their responsibility has to face the consequences. Pandavas purely followed their responsibility. As a Kshatriya, they need to fight, they did the fight. As a Kshatriya, they need to kill the opponents, they have done that. They were never greedy. But Bhishmacharya, irrespective of knowing everything, Bhishmacharya, Krupacharya, Dronacharya have encouraged Kauravas on the battlefield. So they were supposed to face this consequences. So my dear friends, if at all we start speaking, there are n number of characters in such a way. Okay, but these are very much basic things for us to understand before we enter into these things. So thank you all so much. Today, with this basic introduction about Bhagavad Gita, I would like to stop the session here. Any queries you can ask me, and next session we are going with goal setting and we will be sorting out. So in goal setting, just don't understand goal setting what you have taught your students or kids. In our life, there are various areas which we are supposed to work out. Family, friends, health, wealth, love, spirituality, social, many categories. We are not happy completely because though we are performing good in some things, always something is pinching us at back. Array, that work is pending, this work is pending. Because we never focused on that and we designed a goal of that. So in coming up session, we will understand how goals need to be, how we need to set our goals, which areas you want to work out in your life, and practically we will set a goal and try to work out in bridging gap between where you are now, where you have to reach. Done? Now for today's session, any queries, kindly go ahead.
Ma'am, I have a question. Like you have told, like Arjuna is the soul and horses are the senses.
Yes.
So what is Krishna basically?
Intelligence.
Okay. Okay.
So I want to have Pani Puri right away. I want to have Pani Puri right away. But my intelligence say me, Karuna, don't eat Pani Puri outside. Or else like my tongue, my indriyas are pushing me to have it. But my intelligence says no. Or else my body will be taken away to that. Yeah.
So you
please,
mean to say that, the intelligence controls the soul?
Intelligence doesn't control the soul. Soul is the only witness. Body is the cart. Cart is led by indriyas. Okay, so if intelligence is not there, buddhi, the word buddhi is used, intelligence is not there, what will happen to the feelings? Mana, Manasu, Manaha. What will happen to that? It will travel wherever the vision takes, wherever the music is heard. That's why kids are getting more interested to movie songs rather than the lectures given in the online classes. Then what controls them? The buddhi, the intelligence only. Yeah, Madhusudan sir, please. My pleasure.
Yes, ma'am. And regarding Atma, I don't have clarity. Regarding Atma, I don't have clarity. Atma,
you don't have clarity. Atma is, sir, actually Atma is only witness. It will not do anything. It is for Atma, the body is given. The body will be doing here and there. Okay. So, but according to Upanishads, the particular symbol of this Bhagavad Gita, which Krishna is explaining to Arjuna, that was narrated in that way. Because Arjuna is only witnessing the things by sitting on that. He is not doing anything. Krishna is driving it. If at all Krishna don't drive it, horses will take the way they want to go. Then the chariot will go the way it want to go. Nothing Arjuna is supposed to do. So that's why Arjuna is symbolized as soul who is just witnessing what is happening. And chariot is the body. Intelligence is body, manasu, manaha, mind. Yeah, mind is the chariot. Intelligence is Krishna. If Krishna is not controlling the horses, the mind will go the way it want to go. It will take you. That is the core concept. Thank you.
thank you.
And
So, ma'am, I have a question.
Yeah, please.
I'm trying to ask one question for a long time. Ma'am, I want to check with you on, there are 5 sense organs, right? Whereas on the chariot, there are only 4 horses. So what does this represent?
So few people draw even 6 horses also, ma'am.
Oh, okay. But
yeah.
So
So 6, 4 doesn't mean, but they are the sense organs that drive us.
Okay.
So exact the number is not the symbol, but it's about the sense organs that drive us is important. So at times, like, you can keep your touch aside, taking your nostrils and other aspects as your sense organs.
Okay. The other question is, all these acharyas are greatest followers of Dharma and things like that,
Yes.
as much you say. But
Yes.
if Pandavas did do certain things which were not, to me, it was not a fair thing, right? Are we slightly biased to say that Pandavas were always right? And Acharyas, as much as Acharyas are great in terms of following Dharma and other things, yet when it comes to, when it came to the war, they did not follow the highest of Dharma or whatever you said just now. Are we somewhere biased with Pandavas? Not just you or me, largely everybody feel, yeah, Pandavas are great, but when you look at in the war field, there are certain things that was not right. Unfairness, I would call it as.
Regarding acharyas?
No, I'm talking about Pandavas being unfair in certain areas in the war field.
In the war. Okay. So Kshatriyas do have certain dharma. That's why when we were talking about dharma, dharma is the way what we are supposed to do. Actually, though it is not part of today's class, because you asked, I just want to clarify about it. Dharma is what we are supposed to do. So being a Kshatriya, they had certain dharmas, and in the war field, they have to do it. Who might be the opposite person? Okay, if at all they are having a bow and arrow in their hands, they are standing in the position of their enemies, they are supposed to do. So few things are there in such a way. Any other queries?
Yeah,
Connected to today's session?
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Ma'am, you have classified the mind as like a conscious, subconscious, and unconscious. So this is an odd